Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Rebound, Pursued versus Strung Along. Well, I've got an email here from a guy who got involved with a girl. Initially, he didn't realize this, but she had, like 2 days before they started hanging out, had just broken up with a boyfriend of hers that she'd been together with for a couple of years. And you'll see in his email there was a real strong attraction between the two of them, but he got himself into a little bit too much of the white knight behavior, if you will, and he friend-zoned himself. And he hasn't heard from her in several weeks because it wasn't until after he came across my work that he realized, and he had an aunt of his that said, dude, you're in friend zone and it's not going nowhere. So I got a quote that I wrote in this topic, and then we'll go through his email to see if there's any chance of salvaging this. The quote says, sexual attraction is not a choice. People typically know within 3 seconds of meeting someone for the first time if they find them attractive or not. When a guy meets a woman who he has mutual attraction with, he should facilitate getting together, having fun, and initiating romance. If he hesitates, thinks he needs to wait, talks too much, and tries to hide his interest, she will lose interest and place him in friend zone due to his lack of initiative, confidence, and his giving off the friendship vibe instead of the lover vibe. Women love men who are direct, decisive, and get right to the point, as these are masculine strength traits that all alpha males display. Well, let's see what he did. Hello, Coach. I've got a potential video newsletter idea for you, as what I'm about to share is my latest growing experience before discovering your work. Well, I like that you label it a growing experience, because that's what it is. It makes you better. When you fuck up, the idea is to learn from your fuck-ups. Because when you make enough mistakes and you learn from them, you eventually become good enough to no longer make the same mistakes. And you become proficient. Back in April, I began spending time with my best friend's wife's younger sister. She's 21 and I, myself, am 28. We live less than 10 minutes apart. That's pretty convenient. She initiated contact from the start and even asked me to get together for our first hike. Obviously, she really was digging you. We eventually started hugging, kissing, and heavy petting. Well, that typically leads to the indoor Olympics unless you're not a smooth seducer. And in my book, I detail the process you want to take a woman through, including how to handle last-minute resistance. And if you haven't read it, go to my website right now, subscribe to the email newsletter. You'll get a link in the email. All you have to do is click the link saying, yes, I want to subscribe, and then that will take you right to the members area where you can start reading. You can also get the Audible version of my book for free by subscribing to audible.com and doing a free trial with them. So do it now. Do it now. The website's right underneath the screen. Right here. We eventually started hugging, kissing, and heavy petting. However, on one evening, she was intoxicated and I stopped myself from doing the horizontal shuffle. Because at the time, it did not feel right. Well, how did that work out for you, dude? You'd already been together with her. You'd already fooled around a little bit. She'd been drinking a little bit. The next time you're together, kissing, heavy petting, the whole 9 yards. So what happens is, when you get together with a woman like that and you hesitate or you're thinking, no, I've got to wait, I've got to hold out, eventually she starts to realize this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's got no game. Then her attraction level goes. Between her being who she was and me being sober, I took the safe route. The blue balls route. Also, I later found out that she had completely ended a 2-year relationship just days before first talking to me. Well, the other thing you got to consider is women in that situation, there's a good chance that the ex, especially after 2 years, he's not going to be completely gone. And so your game needs to be pretty fucking tight. And when you act like this with a girl that's potential in the rebound, she probably will go back to the ex-boyfriend or maybe some other guy whose game's just better than yours. You just can't make a lot of mistakes with women in this situation. Following that night, her intimacy towards me lessened and I began to feel like a rebound. Well, what happened is she started perceiving you as a friend and no longer a lover because she was ready to get her freak on. You said, oh, I gotta be respectful and blah, blah, blah. She just realized, dude's got no game. No game, no experience. Probably doesn't get to this place very often with girls. So women know. Women know a guy that gets it and a guy doesn't. They can tell. We had a phone ship the entire 3 months we were involved. Phones for setting dates, my friend, not getting to know somebody. If you're getting to know each other on the phone and not in person, it's just like sales. You sell somebody on your product or your service face to face in person. And if you're selling yourself on a date, you have to do that in person and not over the phone. So you obviously talked her out of liking you, and she probably has the attitude, now I just think of you like a friend. Because obviously she knew you liked her, but any dude that's going to kiss and fool around with a girl and not have sex with her and then be okay with talking on the phone for 3 months but never getting together, she's just going to lose all feelings of attraction for you, dude. You talked her out of liking you. And even though feelings for her had been developing, she was pulling away slowly but surely, but I stuck around. I never actually pursued her. She texted me every day as if she wanted me in the background. Yeah, she was just checking to make sure you were there. If she was hooking up with her boyfriend again, he was probably still fucking her brains out. Whatever he wasn't giving her, she was getting with you. And that's why he got the sex in her body and you got blue balls. Not a good trade, my friend. Although I planned and implemented a fun birthday surprise for her, I realized the highway to the friend zone was inevitable. Dude, you were already in the friend zone. If she'd have been reaching out, I would have just said, hey, why don't you grab a bottle of wine, come on over, grab a 6-pack of beer, come on over, bring some tea, bring some chicken breasts, bring some fish, we'll make some food, let's hang out. Your job as a man is to create an opportunity for sex to happen, to hang out, to have fun, and to hook up. Not be the white knight that's going to save her from her bad relationship and be her shoulder to cry on. Because then you just become her emotional tampon. And she uses you and then throws you away and feels no remorse. It got to the point where we were no longer kissing, holding hands, let alone showing affection of any kind. But she still messaged me every day and wanted to hike. You definitely should review 7 principles to get an ex back. But the problem was you kept going out and doing nothing but one platonic thing after another. It's like you were waiting on her to tell you how to be a man, and eventually she's just like, well, I guess he's okay being in friend zone. I became her gay male girlfriend without even knowing it. It took my close aunt to give me some brutal honesty and advise me of what to do. Well, you should give your aunt a hug and a kiss and say, you're awesome. I found your book the same day. 24 hours later, I told her I can't just be your friend, but told her that if she ever wanted something more, you know where to find me. I walked away and I meant it. Almost 4 weeks have gone by and no contact whatsoever. Well, at least she had the balls to walk away. So my question to you is this: would this be considered her stringing me along? Well, I would say you put yourself in friend zone by your behavior. You should have been just hanging out, having fun, and hooking up, and you really would have never even had to pursue this woman ever. All you would have had to do is just create the next opportunity for sex to happen. And she'd have been all over you, and the ex-boyfriend probably would have been out of the picture. But instead, you talked her out of liking you. And you stuck yourself firmly in friend zone, especially throwing her a big birthday surprise and all that. I mean, it's something you do for your girlfriend, not some chick that you want to fuck, but your opportunity to fuck her you passed up because thought you'd be extra nice to her, and that would really show her what a good guy you were. She already knew you were a good enough guy. She was ready to fuck your brains out, but you turned it down because she had a little bit to drink. Or was she pursuing me but proceeding with caution? Come on, man. You know the answer to that. She was into you, but you got to give off the lover vibe consistently. If you give off the lover vibe in the beginning and then you start acting like a friend, well, don't be surprised when you get stuck in friend zone. I had been exuding weak behavior and not taking action like the leader that I am. She could sense that. In other words, she could sense your hesitation. She could sense your indecisiveness. She could sense your lack of confidence. And a woman wants to be penetrated by your strength. You're not going to penetrate a woman with a floppy cock, and you are acting like a big floppy cock, as Stifler would say. Thank you for helping me rediscover my masculinity, because I've had success with new women since this experience, but I find seeking consolation in you couldn't hurt. Well, if you ever hear from her again, I would just assume she wants to see you and invite her to your place to make dinner together. Hang out, have fun, hook up. If she won't, don't go pick her up, don't go meet her out, don't go on any fucking stupid hikes, no going to lunch. The longest distance that you're going to be willing to travel to see her is a distance that it takes to go from wherever you are in your house to your front door to let her in when she comes over. If she says, let's meet out, let's go for another hike, just say, no, I'm just in the mood to hang at my place, have a nice, quiet, romantic evening. If you're not up for that, give me a call in 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe I'll be up for meeting you out then. When she reaches out 2 times in a row, and you ask her to come over and make dinner together, and she shoots you down both times, then from that point forward, you're going to keep your phone calls to 2 to 3 minutes max. And if she starts texting you, you're only going to send 2 to 3 replies max, and you're going to end the phone call and your text exchange, WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever messaging system you're using, you're always going to end with this. Hey, it was really great to hear from you, but I got to run. Keep in touch. Again, if you go to 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back, that's all detailed there, so you need to get familiar with it. Because she may come back. It's totally possible, especially as long as you're able to hold out and move on with your life and never look back. And in the meantime, you can be dating and hooking up with new girls and getting experience. So if she does come back into the picture, because there's a really good chance she probably went back to the ex-boyfriend. That's one of the reasons why you haven't heard from her. And the reality is, if it didn't work after 2 years, it ain't going to work the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th time around. So you should be preparing yourself for the potential that she does come back by getting practice with new women. And so you'll either re-attract her back into your life, or you're going to find somebody better because you're applying the things in my book. Either way, you win. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page, and book whatever coaching option works for you. And I will talk to you soon.